Let's talk about Trey Lance. And let's talk about Mac Jones. And like I said, we may throw Justin Fields in here. We'll go over all quarterbacks, but I really want to focus on Trey Lance and Mac Jones because I've seen this topic a lot on ESPN and Sports Center, Bleacher Report. People have been comparing the two, and I know Mac Jones had his pro day. He shined. He looked great. Trey Lance, I haven't seen too much from his pro day. I know he had one, but this is what I look at when I'm looking at these quarterbacks, because a lot of people are thinking like, well, these two guys are going to drop around the 10 to 15 area. So anybody who needs a quarterback around that area will get one of these guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, both of them are great quarterbacks. Neither one of these guys are bad quarterbacks. Mac Jones, the scary thing about Mac Jones is the fact that he played with demigod Davante Smith. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's afraid, nobody's scared that he can't throw the ball. They're just afraid what he can do on a team that's not going to have as much talent that he just had at Bama. Because I'm like, every wide receiver he just played with at Bama is going to be a first round pick. John Mechie III, Jalen Waddle, Davante Smith. It's like they're all first round picks. These are all dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about them Georgia dogs, but it's like Mac Jones is a great quarterback. And I said this earlier in the video, for you to be a successful Bama quarterback, all you have to have is a deep ball. And if you have a deep ball, you will succeed. That's why I said, look, Bryce Young, if you have a deep ball, you will succeed at Bama. It's that easy. But now you're going to go to the NFL where it's not going to work like that. You've got to be able to make those short throws. You've got to be able to make those medium throws, and you've got to still be able to make those deep throws, which Mac Jones, get me wrong, has no problem making. His accuracy, pinpoint accuracy on deep balls is fantastic. Honestly, could be some of the best in the draft. I mean, Justin Fields has insane deep ball accuracy too, but I think the thing with Trey Lance is he's a great quarterback. He has the size, he has the readings, but the thing where he lacks the most is the fact that I feel like his accuracy isn't on par with some of these other these other guys, playing on a well, not he's playing. I don't know what I'm saying, but some of these other guys, these other like four guys, and I think that that's the problem, and I feel like people are nervous because the level of talent he played against. We all know who North Dakota State is. You can't name many FCS schools, but everyone knows who North Dakota State is because they win the championship like every season. And I think it was like, what was it about Trey Lance? He in his years as a starter, he threw like 50 touchdowns or something with no interceptions. And then the one game he played this season where it was just really like a one game kind of get some scouts looking at you type game, he literally threw an interception. So now like people might go, oh my God, let's like overreact, over exaggerate. I think Trey Lance right now, when it comes to not wanting to turn the ball over, he will not turn that ball over. I think when it comes to those short and those medium passes, he'll make those no problem. He will have to improve his deep ball accuracy though as time progresses. And that deep ball accuracy is something Mac Jones has. But now I've just picked out the flaws for Trey Lance. Let me tell you the problem with Mac Jones. The problem with Mac Jones is the fact that, like I said, he plays with all first rounders. Quarterbacks for Bama have it quite easy, okay? It's easier to be a quarterback at Bama than it is to be at, let's say, BYU with Zach Jones, or even Mississippi State. We're talking SEC, even not LSU, because we saw Joe Burrow with that talent he had, and it carried over. So, it's not like I'm saying that it won't carry over, because Joe Burrow went to a Bengals team with no talent and still looked like a good quarterback. He didn't look as dominant, obviously, but that's going to happen when you have no O-line and you don't have those receivers like that. Mac Jones will go to a team in the 10 to 15, 10 to 20 range, and that's the best situation for him, considering he's going to go to a team that's not awful, but they're not good either. So they should have maybe, or hopefully they have a few weapons. And I'm looking at the 49ers are looking at him. The Patriots are looking at him, and not if he goes to the Patriots. Oh God, I pray for him, because one, he won't start instantly. They got Cam Newton, but we don't know how good Cam Newton is. But don't forget, the Patriots did spend a lot of money in free agency, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with Cam Newton this season. But I'm getting off topic. Mac Jones, I can't, and it's this thing. It's like it's harder trying to get though. He kind of lacks that build you'd want from a NFL quarterback. That's really like the biggest flaw with him. And the second flaw is, like I said, I want to see him on a team where he's not going to have the weapons he just had. I'm like, you put any quarterback on that Bama team and give them a wide receiver like we just saw last season in demigod Davante Smith, they're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? They're going to eat. And I'm like, I'm not trying to say he was carried by Devonta Smith, but Devonta Smith kind of inflated those numbers if we're being realistic. I mean, look at Kyle Trask with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts didn't play in the bowl game, and Kyle Trask did not know what he was doing. I'm talking one of the biggest downgrades I've ever seen. I'm thinking like, yo, I want this guy on the Steelers, and then Kyle Pitts gets set out, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't want him on my team. Yeah, he went from a first-round pick, or actually, no, I'm not even going to say a first-round pick. Actually, and Kyle Trask was another quarterback that was in the quarterback rankings. But I'm like, he went from like a first-round, early second-round pick to like a third-round, fourth-round pick. I'm like, it sucks, too. This is why you get players sit out bowl games. And if I'm Kyle Trask, I would have sat out that bowl game. Knowing you were going to the NFL, it's like, what do you need? What do you have to lose? What are you going to gain by staying and playing in this game without your best weapons? So it was weird. He didn't have Tony. I don't think Grimes played. Kyle Pitts didn't play. Ain't no telling who else didn't play on that offense. It sucks. You know, if all those guys are gone, you might as well go yourself, because a lot of guys like to go out on top, you know, with some integrity and this my teammate. Man, you got to get paid at the next level, and he lost a lot of money with that game, and that sucks for him. But you put Kyle Trask on that Bama team, he's doing the same numbers, even though he already had great numbers this season, even some better than Mac Jones. But Mac Jones also had Najee Harris, so he didn't have to throw the ball as much. But I like Mac Jones. I think he'll excel in an RPO offense, kind of like that run pass option. I think it'll work for him. Get him on a team with a good running back, at least one weapon, a speed guy, and he will carry your team. It's that simple. I like Mac Jones. I think he'll do a great job. Trey Lance, on the other hand, let's get him on a spread offense, offense that's spreading around, moving around. Implement probably not too much RPO. I mean, he can probably run it, but I mean, his deep ball, like I said, his deep ball accuracy is not the best. So you really want to see him around the short and those medium passes. It'll be interesting to see what team these guys go on, but I'm a fan of both. Don't get me wrong. I think they're both great quarterbacks. They'll both be picked around that 10 to 15 range. Maybe not Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance might sneak into the top 10.